Michael, here we are moments away from the Doobie Brothers' last concert ever, and there must be a lot of feelings tangled up in that. What kind of thoughts are going through your head tonight?
Well, it's not quite as sentimental as I maybe thought it was going to be, you know. But then pretty much the whole tour has been, we've been feeling, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. There hasn't been really too much to worry about being the last tour, other than to do the best shows we can. I think throughout rehearsal and it's been pretty consistent as far as feelings go. There's been a lot of reminiscing, but for the most part, I think it was good that we did the tour. You know, as far as if we have to part, it really kind of cemented our ability to part as friends. You know, I think we kind of we were letting a lot of the pressures get to us, and I think we needed to get back together just as a band and just to play one more time before we quit.
Is there anything you're going to especially miss when the band stops playing?
I think playing live to the kind of audiences we've played live to. We've had, there are times when we're up there playing, even now, especially this tour, where I'm sure I'm not the only one. You look out on a crowd of 60,000 people, say at the Chicago Fest, or some of the places we've played this last tour, and you realize, you know, we're walking away from this, and probably none of us individually, there's a good chance we'll never experience it again, you know, in our lives. Something we would have given one of our extremities for, you know, 10 years ago, we're actually just turning our backs on and walking away. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, but it's balanced out by the fact that we've been doing this a long time, and you have to give up your personal life and a lot of your personal life to achieve what we've achieved as a band. And I think as we come along in you know, the years as a band, we've decided that there's no sense in us really throwing our personal lives away for the rest of our lives. And you know, we've had a good run. You know.
When you walk off the stage for the last time tonight, there's going to be a large gap to fill. There's going to be a lot of time to fill too. What kind of plans do you have for the future?
Well, that's pretty much going day by day for everybody. Myself, I have a solo album that's out, and that's all I know. You know, I'm surprised it even finally got out. It's been so long, you know, in the making. And I find myself kind of just standing there wondering what I do next. You know, the thing with the band and being in the band is it's been very habitual for all of us. The ritual of getting together to prepare a tour, to prepare shows, to go out and play, to prepare an album, to record it, has been you know, a way of life for us. And we depended on each other, you know, just to have something to do for the last 13 years. So, and then again, we all find ourselves in outside projects. So everybody's got something going, but everybody's got that thought in the back of their mind of, you know, what's really next for me. And it's scary at times. You know.
Do you think that your musical career will always be intertwined with the members of the band, that you always stay musically close together?
In one way or another. You know, I can't really foresee us not keeping in touch. You know, I hope it doesn't turn out that way. I've worked on Patrick's album, you know, that he's recording, and it's been a lot of fun. You know, a lot of great fun, a lot of really great spontaneous fun. That it was different than having to go in and do an album as the Doobie Brothers. We would have gone through all the post-mortem, or I mean the pre-depression of, my God, what are we going to do now? You know, and all the tension and, you know, that it takes to go out and do one more tour, you know, and one more album. It was much different. Pat's album was pretty much a spontaneous decision of his own. And when you get involved in it on that level, it tends to be a lot more fun than it gets to be after 10 years of, you know, the label or the record company going, where's that album? You know, when are you guys going to tour? When are you going to do this? How are you going to, you know, you gotta, you know. After a while, you just, it's pretty much impossible for any human being not to get tired of the pressure, you know.
Does Berkeley have any special meaning for you?
Berkeley, not so much for me as for the guys who lived here and grew up in this area as a band, you know, and just as people. Most Patrick, Keith, all those guys are basically from this area. John McFee, Corny, and spent a lot of years in this area. So it being the last Doobie Brothers show at the Greek Theater here in San Francisco, it's all very appropriate, I think, and it's been a lot of fun. The audience certainly has been everything we would have hoped for, you know.
Good luck tonight, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, here we are, moments before the last Doobie Brothers concert ever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for you especially, there's got to be a lot of feelings tangled up.
Yeah, there are. It's mixed. It's I feel a lot of ambivalence toward it. You know, I'm happy in the fact that it gives a chance for growth, because I'd like to pursue what I do. And on the other hand, there's a sadness in the fact that we play well together as a unit, and it's been, you know, family type feeling for years, you know, for me since '74. So, but I do have mixed emotions about it. I think my gladness about the way it's ending is great. I mean, we're going out kicking ass, you know, and that's the best way to go out with anything.
I mean, is that going to be at the forefront of your thoughts tonight when you're playing?
That this is the last show or anything like that? Well, you know, it's funny. I try not to. It's like, you know, Zen or something. You try to just do your job. Just really get into the music, you know, play the best you can because of the kids that pay the money to see it. Or not just kids. But there's a lot of distractions, it being the last show, or the last two shows here, ever since we hit California, like the LA shows and these shows. There's just like a little added extra pressure. I mean, you guys are running around taking pictures of us, and there's an audio truck, and they're doing a last album, and I try to not deal with it. You know, I try to think about the show. I want it to be pretty much like the others, you know, because of the consistency in which the band plays. And every time there's something that changes that, it's just like making a chemical mix. Anytime you add something to a recipe that works, you hope it gets it better, you know, or that it can stay, the product remains the same.
Is there anything you're going to especially miss about there being no more Doobie Brothers?
Well, I miss playing live. To many people is a thrilling thing, and something that a lot of people don't experience. There's not that many bands that can go out and play to 8,000 to 15,000 people every night, you know, and make them happy, make them go away feeling good. Because people go away from our shows dancing and singing. I think I miss the live thing and a camaraderie. It's like locker room kind of a thing, you know. If you've ever played sports, or, you know, there's a feeling of closeness that, like before we had broken up, when you're away, you know, when you're home, after a while, you're glad to get home, but after a while, you start thinking about, boy, it'd be nice to get back on the road again, you know, playing, and it's kind of like, it's the great escape. You get a road manager waking you up, getting you to the gig, you know, you're not home, the phone, it's great. You know, that I think I'll miss. And plus the guys, for sure miss the guys.
Now, I know you do a lot of session work too, and you always have that on the side, but when you walk off the stage tonight for the last time, there's going to be a gap in your life. Is there anything special you have, any special plans you have to fill that gap?
Well, the last show's tonight, tomorrow's a day off, and Monday I leave for Tokyo. I put a band together with Keith Knudsen and John McFee, Richie Zito, Elton John's lead guitar player, Dennis Belfield, session bass player, Mark Jordan, session keyboard player. And we're going to Japan with an artist named Yazawa, and he's the biggest rock and roller in Japan. And I was fortunate enough to have produced 2 of his albums. John McFee and I just co-produced the second album, which we're going to premiere the album September 17th at the Budokan in Tokyo. And we're going to tour the whole country from Sapporo to the south. About 9 or 10 dates with that band. And I have a release in the United States for him in January. And he's determined. You know, he's the biggest you can get in Japan. So he's ready to conquer new world, so to speak. And the music's great. And that's keeping me busy as well, because I'm producing the next record, and just going to a tour in that part of the world with a bunch of great players. We've been rehearsing as this has been ending. That's been kind of starting up. So with the surmise of one thing, there's a birth of another thing, because he wants to work, and we're thinking about a different sphere of touring rather than the United States-Europe attitude is Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Philippines, the Southeast Asian touring influences, because he's Oriental and he's great, and so that's making me feel real good. So I'm not having really any time to feel much of a letdown, because I got one day off and I'm leaving for Tokyo.
Okay, well, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks. Here we are, moments away from the last Doobie Brothers concert ever. There must be a lot of feelings tangled up in that.
Yeah, definitely. It's mixed feelings too. It's a hard thing for us, I think, for all of us, to be going out knowing it's the last time around and still enjoying playing, and the audiences are great, and it's hard to walk away from that.
Is there anything special you're going to miss about there being no more Doobie Brothers?
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of things that are special I'll miss about it actually, but most of all probably the music, playing with these guys, and it's just been, since I've been in the band, I've really had pretty much nothing but a lot of fun, really, playing, and learned a lot musically from the guys, and I don't know, I'm going to miss them. Well, even though we'll still be working together, I mean, it's not like I'll never see them again, but there's something special about doing it as the Doobie Brothers, and maybe it's the way that the people are, the audiences. It's like, it's going to be a good time when it's the Doobie Brothers.
After tonight, after the concert finishes, there's going to be a gap in your life, a hole in your life. How do you plan to fill it?
Well, the day after we finish, I have one day off, and then I'm going to Japan. So 3 of us are, Bobby, Keith, and I. We're going to do some shows with a Japanese artist that Bobby and I produced, a guy named Yazawa. And we'll be over there for about 3 weeks. And when we get back, I'm producing a new artist named Tim Goodman for CBS Records. And I'm going to be initially producing, I think, for a while. And at some point I'm going to take a break and really sit back and take a look at what I'm doing.
Hey, you're from the Bay Area, and you lived in Marin County. Does Berkeley have a special meaning to you, playing your last concert here?
Oh yeah, this is, having lived around the Bay Area for, half my life really, most of my, friends, my closest friends still live around here, and so it means that the guest list is extra large.
It's a beautiful arena too.
Yeah, no, it's a great place, and I get to see a lot of people that I don't get to see that often, that I've been real close to, and it's a sort of a homecoming.
Right. Do your future plans, musical plans, are they going to be intertwined with the rest of the band?
Yeah, Well, like I say, Keith and Bobby and I are going together for this Japanese tour. Keith and I are partners in a recording studio. I'm going to be playing on Pat's record, I think, some. And I've been working with Michael on Amy Holland's record, which he's producing. I've been playing some guitar on that. Well, like I say, we'll all still be seeing each other and working together. Willie's been playing on Tim Goodman's sessions. I've been producing, and there's going to be a lot of hybrid, inbred type Doobie Brothers projects going on probably, but there's a lot of that.
Good luck for the future. Good luck tonight.
All right.
Thanks. Willie, we're moments away from the last Doobie Brothers concert ever. There must be a lot of feelings tangled up in that. Do you have any special thoughts about that?
The first thing I can think of is that it's been a long tour, and I'm really ready to go home. Those are my feelings, man, right now. It's been great. We've had some good concerts, so I'm just ready to go home.
Is there anything you're going to miss especially?
Yeah, I like playing live. I like the feeling that you get on stage and with the audience, you know, the relationship that you get there.
Especially here tonight at the amphitheatre here in Berkeley. I mean, the audience is a real hometown audience. It's like the Doobies family, isn't it?
Yes, it's fine. We've had some good audiences also in the Midwest, heading out towards West, and it's good when you have good audiences like this one here. It's just great. It brings a lot out of you, a lot of your emotions, and it causes you to create and play really well and have a great time.
Cornelius, we're moments away from the last Doobie Brothers concert ever. Are there a lot of emotions and feelings tangled up in that?
Yeah, I think myself, I'm finding it a real happy occasion. You know, it's I'm glad to move on to my next phase, you know, of music. And at the same time, there's another little space that's kind of sad, you know, because it's you're kind of leaving musical history behind, you know. And I mean, when the last note is over, then that takes care of, you know, what I've contributed, you know, to the Doobie Brothers. It's like time kind of stands still for a moment. You get a chance to feel, you know, what the people feel and how you feel about what you've done yourself, you know. It's a kind of a unique experience, really, you know.
Now, am I right in saying that Berkeley is a special place as well, especially in this amphitheatre here, because it's almost like the Doobies family in this area?
Yeah, I feel, although I wasn't in the group, you know, when they first started in San Jose, I did live in San Jose for 8 years. I've grown up in the San Francisco Bay Area and lived in San Francisco for 6 years. So, and I've even been to a couple concerts here at the Greek Theater. Never played here, this is the first time, so it's really overwhelming, you know. Feels like home.
Good.
Yeah.
Keith, we're moments away from the Doobie Brothers' last concert ever. There must be a lot of feelings tangled up in that.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of emotion. I've been in the band 9 years, and we've been through a lot, you know, a lot in their career-wise and a lot in our personal lives. And you start thinking about the last couple of days. I've been thinking about talking to my old lady about it, you know, about all the stuff that's happened. And, I mean, it all comes back. And it's almost like dying. Your life flashes before you. The Doobie Brothers' life, everything that's happened to me in the last 9 years, career-wise and personally, it all has come back, you know, for this last couple of days.
Does it really feel like your last concert?
Oh yeah. I mean, it feels like the last Doobie Brothers concert. I mean, we've been since March, you know, when we actually decided to break up. You know, we knew it would eventually end up here, you know. So I'm pretty much prepared for it, but I'm sure tonight will be a little more emotional. It hasn't. We've talking to the fans and through this whole tour, I've seen a lot of fans crying and talking to them. They can't believe the band is breaking up. And I don't think it's really hit anybody yet, but I think tonight, the actual last concert will prove to be a little different for us.
What are you going to especially miss about there being no more Doobies?
The people, you know, the band, the music, the crew, you know, our family of, you know, a million people that we've met and worked with over the years. I think, you know, I mean, we'll all keep in touch, but we won't be seeing each other, living with each other, you know, 24 hours a day like we have for the last 9 years for me and the last 12 years for the band.
You've lived up around the Bay Area for 13 years. And
yeah.
Berkeley would almost seem like home for the Doobies, in a way, especially the audience here at the arena.
Yeah, it is. It is the San Francisco Bay Area. It doesn't matter whether you're in San Francisco or Marin County or Berkeley or Oakland. It's all the same family of people. In fact, when I first came out here, I lived here in Berkeley for a couple months till I got thrown out.
Really?
Thrown out of the house. So.
When you walk off stage for the last time tonight, there's going to be a gap in your life. How do you plan to fill it?
Well, I have a lot of good memories of a lot of good times, a lot of good music, and a lot of hard times. And I'm going to keep working. You know, I'm leaving right away. In fact, tonight is our last show, and then tomorrow we fly back to Los Angeles, and then Monday I'm leaving for Japan for 3 weeks to work with rock singer over there for 3 weeks, and I'm coming back and going to the studio. I'm going to keep working. You know. John McFee and I have a 24-track studio, and I plan on being real busy.
Tommy, here we are, moments away from the last Doobie Brothers concert ever. Now, there must be some emotions tangled up in that. What are your thoughts?
I was talking about it a lot last night with Mike Savino. He's out here from New Jersey. He's worked with a band a few times, and he was my road manager when I was doing the solo stuff after I quit the band. And we were talking about the I don't know what you'd call it, the blow, or the effect it's going to have on everybody when they suddenly realize what they've been doing all this time, and what I used to be involved in for 8 years, you know. And what I started with John Hartman back in '69, never realizing what it was going to be. And what it's going to be like, and what it was, you know, I noticed everybody last night was starting to feel the effect of it already, you know, when it was going to be over, and it wasn't going to be going on anymore, and the Doobie Brothers thing was actually dying, and nobody, I don't think, ever really realized what that was going to mean to them until last night. They started really getting an idea, and it's a lot heavier than they thought it was, and it even affected me.
Has being here tonight brought back a lot of memories for you?
Being here tonight.
Yeah.
I take it we're speaking in the present,
Right.
future tense, whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, it's affected me. Am I after the gig now? No. Okay. It's a very interesting thing to come back to a scene that I started, what was it been, 12 years ago? And was heavily involved when getting going, and wrote a lot of songs for and everything. And even though it's gone through the evolution that it has, and it's one of the few bands that's been able to do that and be successful. I've never seen too many bands that have been able to pull that one off. And it's dying. It's an end of an era. It's an end of a band. And like I said, it's a pretty heavy feeling to just realize that all this is finally just not going to be around anymore. You know, even though I haven't been involved with it directly for, what's it been now, 77, 5 years. But in touch on and off, you know, throughout the 5 years. I played with them a few times, and I keep in touch with some of the people.
Great. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Bruce, in several moments you're going to see your band, the Doobies, walk on stage for the last time. What kind of feelings are wrapped up in that?
Oh, there's a lot of emotion. After 12 years, it's kind of like the kids are leaving home, you know, graduating and moving out on their own. And I'm really emotionally upset. It's been a third of my life, and I feel like it's possibly time, but I'm having a hard time adjusting to it at the same time. They're like, you know, brothers, really, to me, and they're good guys. And it's been real good. Through the ups and downs and all that, overall, I'm real proud to have done the whole 12 years with them.
And what are you going to miss most about having all these problems in your life?
Well, I'm sure I'll find some other problems to deal with, but it's just going to be hard to find another bunch of people that are that talented, and that's what I'm looking for. Although I'll be working with Pat and Tom solo, and I'm looking forward to that.
Why don't you choose Berkeley to do the last concert?
Well, it's the Bay Area. It's where the band started, where we all came up off the street. And Berkeley was chosen mainly because of the Greek theater, the facility. And I felt it was fitting for, you know, the farewell, the last dates. And it seems to be working out that way. It's been real good so far.
You spent the last 12, 15 years of your life with these people. What's going to happen? Are your futures going to be intertwined?
I'm sure, you know, we're not totally going to go away, and, you know, we'll see each other, and the business is not that large. It's, you know, the music business is a relatively small business, and I'm sure we're going to be involved with each other socially as well as in business. Yeah.
So is there anything that the band are going to do that's going to be special tonight because it's their last concert? Is there any song that's going to have any special meaning tonight?
Well, we'll see. I think the whole show is going to be special. It is for me, that's for sure. And we'll see. There may be a few surprises this evening. I know they'll have their hearts in it. They'll always have their hearts in it, but tonight I think will be something special. I know it will be for me.